Our last patron request for this month comes from the Movie Critic Dude, and it's for another movie I haven't seen, but is from something that I do remember seeing a lot on TV. And it's for a series called Babar. The Babar book series was the original creation of Gene D. Bronhoff, who created stories based off tales told to his children by his wife Cecile, who many say was the creator of the Babar character because of it. In his time, Gene created 7 books prior to his passing in 1937, and then, starting in 1946, one of his sons, Laurent, would take after his father in producing his own Babar stories for many years to come. The most familiar I am with the series, though, came from the 1989 TV series, which lasted for 5 seasons and was revived for a 6th in the year 2000. The series centered around Babar and his many adventures, along with his eventual family, in what I can describe as a calm and mellow show, but having plenty of mature themes that you don't see too often in these kind of kid shows. However, most of my memories came from the later seasons, and even then, I have not seen them all. But as requested, I'm looking at the 1989 film called Babar the Movie, which is meant to be a follow-up to the first season of the TV series, in which we get a look at what I'm guessing is an alternate take on the battle with the Rhino King, Ritaxis. But with that, let's begin the review. We open on a parade, and already I should mention the animation. For late 80s animation, it actually looks well done. It looks well polished and the backgrounds look really nice, which is usually expected with theatrical releases of TV-based cartoons. Of course, it helps that the Ellipse Programme and Nelvana Limited had a good partnership with each other, and with Nelvana, you can usually expect some really good animation quality from them, though I have not seen all of their works, so take it as you will. So after the victory parade, Babar and his wife, Celeste, put their children to bed. While Gordon Pensant would resume his voice role as the title character, he'll mostly be taking a backseat for this one because...
How come it's called a victory parade?
Well, that's a long story, my dear.
Good. Yeah, tell us. Yes. Please, Papa.
Well...
Come on. Yeah, come on.
But...
Please.
But...
How can you refuse?
I should mention that Queen Celeste in this movie has the same voice as the old lady, Elizabeth Hannah. And don't worry, I do remember enough of the backstory to explain who that is. So he begins telling the story of how...
Mom was just a little girl?
Yes, that's right, Isabel. Now, where was I? Ah, yes. I was just a boy, and I was still very new at being king.
Damn it, kids, stop interrupting! So anyway, he was just crowned a king after the previous one died from eating a bad mushroom, and... I don't know! Do you want to do the review for me? Then keep quiet! And so one of the first things he must do as king is figure out a name for the annual parade for Elephant Land, the country that this city resides in. Now to my recollection, Elephant Land was just some jungle area in South Africa where everyone was still quadruped. Until after Babar ran away to what is meant to be France, where he learned how to be how he is now from the old lady. As for these three, well, the wrinkly fellow is Prime Minister Cornelius, while the stylish-looking gentleman is Pompadour, along with his little assistant Troubadour.
Where is our official hornblower?
Here I am. Hi, Babar. Good luck today. Sure hope you don't mess up or anything.
And that's Cousin Arthur. In the TV series, I remember him being older since he is the brother of Celeste, so they are more or less about the same age here. Though, in the Christmas movie, he was the same age as Babar's children, so... yeah. Babar comes up with the name Elephant Land Parade, and at first it sounds good to them. But the adults want to have a committee to review it, and... we get a song sequence?
We set up a committee to discuss and interact.
Then authorize a study to investigate the facts.
Then summarize the data to find out what we have to do. Get out all the files, we have work to do.
We'll Call in all the experts.
I honestly wasn't expecting this. Don't get me wrong, it looks fun and it actually pokes fun of how governments try overcomplicating simple decisions with extended processing. I'm just worried that if they try throwing this in all the time, they'd be going full Disney mode. At the same time though, if the songs are all this good, and with these kind of visuals, I probably wouldn't mind, but we'll see. Little Celeste comes in with dire news.
Grandpa's village is in terrible danger.
Danger? Why?
You've got to get your army out there right away.
Army?
Army? Army?
Retaxis and his rhinos are on a rampage.
Retaxis?
Rhinos? Rampage?
He's attacking all the villages and snatching elephants.
Ah, Retaxis. The Rhino King who always did what he could to try and take over Elephant Land using whatever dirty method he could find. I always saw him more as more of an asshole rather than an evil king, especially since he has worked with Babar before, especially against poachers. Although again, like Arthur, Retaxis was changed in the Christmas movie as just some regular civilian who nearly ruined Christmas for everyone. But in this version, it seems Retaxis really is the definition of evil, as he's taking over elephant villages like he's some kind of warlord. Again, the adults are rather hesitant in sending out the army, but Babar knows better.
I believe you, Celeste, and I really do want to help.
My mama means everything to me.
I know how important a mother can be.
If anything ever happened to her, I'd just...
Don't worry, Celeste. Nothing's going to happen to her. I'm going to go back up there and order them to get the army ready. And I'll lead them to your village myself.
Now, even as a kid, Babar is shown to be more of a kind-hearted king who wants to do what he can for people he cares for, and it comes from having been raised by one who sees the best in people. Then, when you combine some darker themes onto his life, it makes him a bit more complex than most main characters in other children's programs. Something I tend to notice with a lot of foreign origin cartoons is that they tend to be darker in tone, allowing them to do things you normally couldn't do in a children's cartoon. The first season had his mother die from a rifle shot, and even without the blood or wounds, you know exactly what went down, and it would be effective for children to understand that this can happen. Babar is one of those series that doesn't talk down to children. It speaks to them on an equal level while providing entertaining and often relatable characters. And so far, the movie does a good job in keeping to the kind of tones that the TV series would have. I mean, come on, they're about to go to war with a warmongering rhino. Can you imagine what he might be doing to those captives right now? So Babar decides to go out and take on Retaxis on his own, since the army won't be mobilized for 3 days. He has Arthur take his place, since all elephants look alike. Cute take on that cliche, but he is still shorter than you know?
Ah, there you are, Babar. Lovely night, isn't it? Just look at those stars. I could just stand here forever.
But even in smart cartoons, the adults are still dumb. Just look at this funny moment.
So why don't you let me out, so I can try to come in, so you can say, "Halt, who goes there?"
Oh, okay.
There you go.
Thank you.
Okay, now.
Halt! Who goes there?
So, traveling through the deep, dark jungle, he sets eyes on Celeste's village, which is in flames and under attack by the Rhino army.
Go, run.
Oh my god! They're not wearing any pants! Now, 2 things confuse me. One is they're only taking the adults and not the children, because screw child labor. And second, some of the adults are still quadrupedal, while everyone else is bipedal. I guess not everyone sees progression as a good thing. Babar rushes in to save Celeste and her mother, and he actually does well at first. If even a child can beat up adult rhinos, what the hell are you all doing then? Kick their ass! Okay, fair enough. They have at least one strong guy on their team. The next day, Babar wakes to find Celeste in the well. He gets her out, and despite what happened, she's willing to help him out, while leaving the other children with Grandpa.
After you.
And then a lion ate them all. As the two set off, we get another song, and given when the last one was, this is an okay period of wait time. It's also a good transitional song.
And I still was so afraid of the loneliness inside that I'd run away and hide. Tell you the truth, for me, it would have been the end. Lucky for me, I had a friend.
It also shows how close they become, as it is expected they become a couple in the end. After one wacky song, a calm and relaxing one is needed to assure that the movie knows what mood it is in. At any rate, they come across some monkeys who toy with them a bit before one of them, Saphir, introduces himself and lets Babar know that out here, being a king means nothing through song.
You've got to learn the ropes or you don't have a hope. I say this modestly, no one ever does it quite like me.
Every monkey in the jungle listens. Every monkey in the jungle knows. Every drop on every treetop listens, 'cause they know he's really on his toes.
So much for long breaks in between songs. While this is also enjoyable, it really doesn't have to be here. Since if he wanted to prove his point that you don't mess around in the jungle, they could have skipped to this bit.
Cassou. Now that's what I call fast food.
But you know how it is. They have to run the time to over an hour, so we gotta fill the time somehow. And while this looks exciting, it's also somewhat of a pointless endeavor because, as it turns out,
Hey, take it easy. I wasn't going to eat you guys. Besides, I'm a vegetarian.
well then what was the point of the chase sequence? If the point was just to get a favor from him later, have him do something else that would get it. Don't have him attack them if he's just going to say he's a vegetarian. The two continue on and find themselves in Rhino Land, where the elephants are being forced to build a city for them. They manage to sneak their way in as they go after Celeste's mother, who's being locked up in one of these pyramid structures. And it's here we meet Retaxas himself, who really is just like the others, but he has a cape and a different helmet. I do like how they try to build him up as this really menacing and threatening guy. And yet this is what we get.
The time has come to play our hand. The army's ready. Now here's the plan. At dawn we march on Elephant Land.
I personally liked him better when he was in the TV show. Here he's just trying too hard to be menacing when he just makes himself look generic. The kids try to escape after being found, and the sequence itself is filled with close calls and some unorthodox action that would otherwise likely kill at least one person. But in the end, they get caught and meet the big bad.
And who are you to protest and demand anything?
I am Babar, king of the elephants.
You, king of the elephants? Well, you'll have to excuse me, Your Majesty, but I'm off to crush your beauty kingdom to a pulp. Let's move!
Can we have Goofball Retaxas back? At least he was like an exact opposite to Babar's character, so it gives you the idea that one ruler does things right, while the other does it wrong, and it makes their interactions enjoyable given the writing it has. But here, they went a little too far in adapting the character, but taking away most of the funny parts. Luckily, Saphir comes to free them, though it doesn't go well at first.
Oh, Celeste.
Wait, she was wearing clothes when she got in, now she's naked. What the hell were you all doing in there? After the main army leaves, they beat up the remaining guards and free everyone. Now they just need to get back home to warn everyone before Retaxas arrives. Unfortunately, during the trip home, they end up falling into the river. Luckily, the crocodile they spared helps them out. And again, it was established that in the jungle you can earn favors from people, but that still doesn't explain his earlier behavior. Back in Elephant Land, the army is already occupying outside the kingdom, so the three have to sneak through with a disguise. But that backfires.
Yeah, and there's a million more guarding the palace.
A million?
And a zillion more waiting in reserve.
Saphir.
Give or take a dozen or so.
You stupid monkey!
Stand back!
Watch it! He's got a banana!
Okay, I didn't expect that one. Good on ya. This leads to a pretty cool fight between Babar and Retaxas, and yes, he outsmarts him. They escape the camp with the catapult and land just near where Arthur and the others were walking. And now I'm just disappointed they didn't have more scenes with him trying to fool these dumb farts. So Retaxas says screw it and starts catapulting fire at them, but says he'll give them 1 hour to surrender or die. Babar gets an idea.
Citizens of Elephant Land, they have us outnumbered, but I think I know how we can outsmart them. Are you with me?
Yes! Long live King Babar!
Good. Then here's what we're going to do.
However, to stall for time, Babar takes Cornelius and Pompadour out to talk with Retaxas, and they plan to stall by...
We'll set up a committee to discuss an
Yeah, we know how the song goes. Eventually, as the rhinos lose patience, the master plan is revealed to be... a giant mammoth! With that scaring everyone, the freed elephants charging at them, and Crocs in the river, Retaxas soon finds himself outmatched and alone, and probably in need of pants, so he can wet them. With that, it's decided the parade would be called the Victory Parade, and now you know why it's called that. And after the kids fall asleep and the parents leave the room, well, you know how kids are.
You asked for it. Saphir the monkey to the rescue! Get him, Saphir.
Children, go to sleep.
Yes, Papa.
So, that was fun. As far as a movie adaptation to the TV and book series is concerned, they still did a good job in keeping a lot of the tones the show would have had. It's the kind of writing that is smart enough to know how to entertain children without insulting their intelligence and without going over in wackiness, with characters who are likable and often relatable. Of course, even with the same people who did the TV show working on it, I still found it strange they would go as far as making Retaxas dominantly evil and trying to be even more dark with his stuff than normal. I think it would have worked better had he been more reserved as someone who could be reasoned with, and or have the twist be they face posers together like in the show. It doesn't make the action scenes less enjoyable. Those are well done and entertaining, and the songs were quite decent. The animation quality kinda slips further down you go, especially after the rhinos come in, but for the most part, it was competently made. Personally, I think if this movie had focused more on the responsibilities as king on a moral level, and not just the typical be brave and think on your feet, this probably could stand out as one of the best 80s animated movies I've seen, as otherwise it nearly falls into the same traps as others have when competing with Disney and the like. It's a shame that this movie flopped at the box office, because overall it was pretty good, but it could be better. but at the same time, it's enough to get a good fulfillment from. If you can find it, I'd say check it out. Well, that's everything off the Patreon board. Besides something that should have been out sooner, next month, I'm doing something I should have done ages ago. For in July, it's all about webcomics. Until then, I'm the Media Hunter. Media's my prey, and reviewing them my way.
Join in the celebration now.